All right. So first off, thank you everyone for joining. This presentation is going to be going over DHCP options with the SimpleWan and specifically with Polycom phones. So first off, what is DHCP? So our IP phones, they need a way to get their IP address, and DHCP is the protocol and how they do that. But more importantly, they just don't get their IP addresses. They can get other valuable information as well, such as the subnet mask of the network, the gateway, DNS, and some other configurable settings as well. So all of the configurable settings are known as DHCP options. Each option has its own specific number, and that number relates to a specific setting. So for instance, option 1 is the subnet mask, option 3 is the router, option 6 is the DNS server, and so forth. But there's a few that are commonly used all the time. But this demonstration is going to be going over option 160, which is a custom option that Polycom uses. And this is how we're going to simplify the provisioning process from the SimpleWan router. So what are the benefits? One of the benefits is that you don't have to touch each device to provision. A great one is that you can manage the provisioning server from one central location. You don't have to update a URL in each phone. Say if SkySwitch changes their provisioning server for whatever reason down the line, you can change it from one central point and not have to touch each phone. All right, so here is a basic demonstration or a basic image of how it works. When the phone restarts, it requests it does a broadcast and it finds the DHCP server. In this request, the SimpleWan the SimpleWan will then respond with a DHCP offer. And in this offer, it's going to be including all of those options to configure the phone, so the IP address, the subnet mask, and everything like that. So I'm going to break away from this and kind of show you what that looks like in a PCAP that I took off our SimpleWan router here in our office. And all I did here is I went to diagnostics on the SimpleWan dashboard, and then packet capture, and then I'm not logged in anymore, but I did a LAN capture. So you can, the SimpleWan captures all the packets, but if you want to specifically look at the DHCP protocol, it's called bootp, and then we can take a look. And so here's a DHCP offer from the router. So the gateway is 192.168.40.1, and it's replying back to 192.168.40.30. And you can see in this offer, it's giving my phone an IP address, and it has all of these other DHCP options. So we can see the net mask to use for the network, the gateway that the phone should use, and then some other settings as well, like the DNS servers. But at this moment, you can see that there's no provisioning or option 160 in here. But once we set that up in the SimpleWan, we should also see that option as well. All right, so let me go back here. All right, so the great thing about Polycom is that it defaults to using a custom option. You can either use option 66, or you can use option 160. So generally, you don't have to do anything. It should default that when if you factory default the phone, it should come in the settings. I've included how to navigate through the phone to verify. But if you get a brand new phone or factory default it should already be set to use this. All right, so now we're going to go through how to set this up in the SimpleWan device. Find my site, so you just go to your site, and then you'll click DHCP server, and then you'll want to add, there's a section here for DHCP options, and this is where you're going to want to add it. So we want to include it on the LAN interface. We're going to use custom. The option number that we want to use is 160. And the custom option name has to be a string with no special characters in it. So I'll just say Polycom provisioning. And then type string. And then here is where we want to put in the provisioning URL. Now, the only thing to watch out here is you have to make sure that this is in between quotes, and that's just something specific to SimpleWan, but it won't let you add it in unless you put it in between quotation marks. So http://ndp.skyswitch.com. All right, so that should look good. And then just make sure it syncs. And then, so how I took that capture before, I already have it pre-captured, but you can just go to Diagnostics, Packet Capture, and then LAN. And then now, when we do a packet capture, we should see the option 160 in there. DHCP offer, we'll see all of the same information, 192.168.40.30, but now we see this 160, and this is what the phone is going to be using for the provisioning server. So if you look at it, the value is this long string, but not to worry, that's just the hexadecimal code, or hexadecimal value of the provisioning server. So if we copy this as a value, and then we can go to a site just to confirm, convert hexadecimal to ASCII. This should hopefully convert to, and there it is. So we've got http://ndp.skyswitch.com. All right, and then we'll go back here. And then this is just explaining what the values and what to put in there. And then this is just going over the PCAP values and the hexadecimal to ASCII. All right, that is basically it. Did anyone have any questions? All right, so just to recap real fast, the phone pulls its IP address and its network settings. It also pulls the provisioning server as well on the boot process, and then now it'll have its provisioning server, and it can pull its config.
Well, there are no questions, so thank you very much for attending today's SkySwitch webinar, and we appreciate your business. Thank you and have a great day. Thank you, Cameron.